Alright, I'm watching The Massacre. It's reliably one of my most hated Doctor Who stories. It's boring. The sense of foreboding in the background doesn't... I don't really get that vibe of it. It's all missing, which probably doesn't help, etc. But opinions that shit on something, they're not the most useful opinions. The most useful opinions are the ones that love something. My opinion of this being shit is about as useful as my opinion of Boom being shit, which it is in so many ways. I'm trying to come up with ways of viewing The Massacre anew. Okay, so there's a question is this the first Dr. Light story? Like a banal kill the moon? And we're just following Stephen, he's left alone so the Doctor can have fun. And Stephen gets up to hijinks while a historical atrocity is going on in the background. It's kind of like, what if Midnight followed Donna's hijinks while the Doctor was going through incredibly traumatic stuff? Lucarotti only wrote the super serious Marco Polo and the Aztecs. So this is him branching out into comedy, but failing to make it funny because he loves being grounded, dark, and realistic. He wouldn't know a joke even if it came up to him and stabbed him repeatedly and slowly. There's the bluff that the servant girl worked with the Protestants for years when someone comes to take her back and they recognize her. And then later the Doctor is seemingly killed. And perhaps the first instance is supposed to be obviously unbelievable. Ha ha ha, how ridiculous that there could be two people who look exactly the same. That's, just such a bad lie that it's funny. And then it turns out that someone else looks exactly like the Doctor and they appear in the same story. That's hilarious. At least in the mind of John Lucarotti. This whole story is a dark comedy. The Doctor dying is the punchline because there being an exact double of someone actually does happen. Ha 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 ha. This whole story is a dark comedy. Lucarotti's branching out. Stephen getting into deep shit when he mistakes the Abbot for the Doctor is supposed to be funny because the Doctor is causing him so much bother, despite the Doctor having nothing to do with this. Hilarious. What we must do is enter the dark, twisted, edgy mind of John Lucarotti. The way it gets us to focus on the Abbot as if he is the Doctor is supposed to be funny. It's like making the viewer step in shit and then jumping out from behind a tree, pointing and laughing at the viewer. Haha, made you think this incredibly uninteresting character was the interesting character. It's a comedy of subversion. Is that not what most comedy is, after all? This comedy really, really commits to the subversion aspect of comedy. John Lucarotti would have laughed so heartily if he were able to rewatch these lost episodes. To him, this is a knee slapper that slaps so hard that it pulverizes your lower legs. So, someone says at one point, you see shadows where there is no sun. So they say this just after they said earlier in the same scene that the Abbot has something odd about them and is going to be closely watched. It's the joke about the body doubles, getting us interested in a character who's not interesting. Ha 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 ha. This is hilarious to Lucarotti. This line about, you see shadows where there is no sun. It's like Lucarotti is laughing at us. Got you. The joke is on us. Lucarotti is bullying us for his own entertainment. This is a comedy, but we are the victims. I don't think he realizes that he is the only one who finds any of this funny. Obviously the result is so non-resonant that he was never allowed to write for the show ever again. So the joke's on him, really. Alright, so when Stephen goes to the historical figure, Preslin, a woman tells him that Preslin hasn't been there for years. And this is funny because we saw the Doctor meet Preslin earlier and has already explained how Preslin is going to survive and do a bunch of stuff in the future. Like, this time the joke is on Stephen, which means we are being let in on the joke. The audience isn't always the victim, so this is definitely a comedy intended for everyone, where everyone gets bullied. I wonder if he found it funny when he presumably got fired for how bad this story was. Because I'm guessing the one person who doesn't get bullied in this story is John Lucarotti, so it is only fitting that life bullied him for this. I like to think he found it funny. Alright, so Stephen is caught up in stuff he hasn't a clue about for like the whole story. He outright says this as he is being accused of being a spy by the one person who believed he wasn't. And this is funny, ha ha ha. Life kicks Stephen about anyway, even without the doctor's influence. Ha 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 ha. Isn't it funny how dark life is? So did the TARDIS travel here as a joke to play on Stephen? Anyway, right, so the servant woman is the only one who realises that Stephen is chill and understands that a historical atrocity is going to happen. And she isn't believed about Stephen, and no one is as convinced as she is about the horrible implications of what she overheard. Okay, oh my god. So they disbelieve the servant woman about Stephen and are certain that Stephen has returned to his master, their enemy, the abbot, saying that they know that's where they would find him now that he's escaped. And then immediately the next scene happens and Stephen is exactly there looking for the doctor. He's just tripping up over lots of stuff and continually messing up. Like O.J. Simpson at the start of that, one of the Naked Gun films, when like he gets shot so many times, just like riddled with bullets, and then he's like dying, but he sort of stumbles into, you know, like puts his hands on a stove and it's like, ah, and then he just keeps going through more calamity, and like one of the things is just him like putting his hands on wet paint and then being like, oh no, before, you know, eventually dying, which is, you know, one of the funniest jokes ever. So it's wild how flat this falls. They keep saying the abbot is so mysterious and intriguing without saying almost anything about him. This is so funny to Lucarotti, pretending that the abbot is not the utterly uninteresting bloke that he is. Like, this episode is named The Sea Beggar, which is a code name for the abbot. So despite not featuring the doctor at all, the very name of this episode names the biggest joke in the episode. Wait, okay. So the episode ends on the twist that it isn't the abbot or the doctor who is the sea beggar who's going to be assassinated. It's just some other guy. And we thought the sea beggar was the abbot who was the doctor, but now the rug is pulled. And episode 3, I'm pretty sure, is going to be another rug that's under the first rug that's also going to get pulled from us when we find out that the doctor isn't the abbot. I could be wrong about this, and it was never implied that the abbot is the sea beggar, but I feel like I think I got it right. Like this story is hard to follow. It's so boring. The darkest comedy Doctor Who has ever done and ever will do.
Well, whatever happened to my designer body? My boobs are too big, I'll tell you that much, honey. Isn't being trans meant to give you the body of your dreams? I think I inherited my dad's boobs, 'cause they're much bigger than my mum's. And these bumps on my head, well, I want them dead. I want a scalp that's less lumpy, 'cause it itches with dandruff and it's not very sexy. On the topic of lumps, yeah, on the topic of lumps, I want the red boob and shoulder ones gone. So long. Well, I want so much body hair, but it just ain't there. I want body hair, but no facial hair. Why is it the wrong way round? Oh, I'm lost and not found. Fuck you, estrogen. You stole what little body hair I had, but you left my facial hair intact. Yeah, fuck you, estrogen. What have you done? The beauty of my hands is now all gone. And you stole my cum. fuck it. Give me freckles. Give me a sexy face. Give me manageable hair. Give me money for tattoos. I want more moles. I can never have enough. Give me a cis woman voice and tits are for their current size. Give me a fanny. I'm not being funny. Give me it all. A designer body. I want a designer body. That's what I was fucking promised when I signed up to be a tranny. Just let me be hairy if nothing else. Just let me be hairy if nothing else. Just let me be hairy if nothing else. Oh, pretty fucking please. I've only got one life and I'm not hairy. Oh no. Oh, 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 fuck. But if my songs are to be my therapy, then what is the moral of this story? Lucy, you'll never have exactly what you want. So try to vibe with what you've got. It's just like The Secret. To love and Doctor Who, learn to love it for what it is, and don't hate it for what it doesn't do. And I know being a genderqueer trans woman, oh, it's a massive fucking complication. I wish you luck. Now go forth with my love and live. Live, love, live, laugh, love, motherfucker. Live your body, laugh your body, love your body. Everybody come on, come on.